Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new video here at tablemon. It's been a while since we've had a PCG Live video, but Shroud of Fable just came out on PCG Live and Worlds is just around the corner. Now some of you might have seen the news that I will be casting the World Championships, which might come as a surprise, right? The whole channel is dedicated to competing, but just because I'm casting doesn't mean I will stop competing, alright? I'm already making plans for the 2025 season, but I was offered the opportunity and I was very honored to accept it. So look forward to some tablemon casting at the World Championships. But for now, we're here to talk about Regidrago VSTAR. Now, once again, I mentioned this in the games, but for those of you who didn't catch the sarcasm in the previous video, I was obviously joking, right? Regidrago is incredibly busted, it's incredibly powerful, and it's just like the versatility it has. Apex Dragon offering you all these really powerful attacks and giving you a choice between them is just incredible. And then you have the support of Ogerpon with the Teal lens ability, giving you a little bit of extra draw, definitely energy advantage, and then the attack being able to deal with Charizard EX is just insane. So yeah, I mean, this deck is out of this world, honestly. And then the threat of Phantom Dive so early with the Hawlucha, the threat of Lost Impact, the threat of Rolling Iron, and the threat of Kyurem, which is in Japanese. Limitless hasn't updated their database to include the English cards, but having all this wide array of attacks and forcing your opponent to cover everything is just impossible, right? And you'll see in the games how the deck is very fluid. Setting up a stage 1 is actually quite straightforward, all right? And with all the draw support, along with the Fezandipiti X, the brand new Shroud of Fable card, which is amazing to cover for Ionos, cover for those pesky on-first stamps. Now they don't feel as unfair, honestly. Fezandipiti is just such a good card. It's like, okay, you kill my Fezandipiti, I have my powered up Regidrago VSTAR. You kill my Regidrago VSTAR, Fezandipiti will help me recover. And that's not to mention the Legacy Star ability. It's just incredibly powerful. It helps so much in rounding out the deck, giving you back resources, and oftentimes guaranteeing that you will find what you need, right? Or a turn where you go research plus a couple Teal mass plus your V-Star, you're looking at 16 different cards, sometimes more, in a single turn to find what you need, right? And usually that's very easy to accomplish. And to top things off, you have the Prime Catcher or Boss's Orders plus Canceling Cologne combo to take out Manaphy and utilize Kyurem's Triforce attack to eliminate three of your opponent's Pokemon, for 3 energies, which is always a good trade. Not always, but it's almost always a good trade-off. Now, the timing of that can be very important. Sometimes it's good early, sometimes it's good to close out a game. Every game is different, so it's important to analyze the different situations as they happen. Let's jump into some games, shall we? Alright, so we win the coin flip, we get to go first, therefore we threaten the most with this deck, which should be cool. And not the best start, like just getting 1 energy attached would be fantastic. Otherwise, getting the Regidrago VSTAR powered up can be problematic. That is also not an ideal top deck. Gonna get rid of the boss. Definitely don't expect to be using boss this upcoming turn. And no squawk, so no potential extra draw power. Do have 2 priced Ogerpons, which could be a problem. No priced energy. And I mean, there's the energy switch. All right, well, I could end up just going Iono next turn, but then the chances of me pulling off the V-Star are even lower. Failing to get energy down turn 1 is a pretty big detriment for this deck for sure. You are way less threatening. Now we are up against a Dragapult deck, so it'll be interesting to see if we can be a better Dragapult deck and attack on turn 2. Like usually, imagine this situation where that's their hand. We get Iono, so thankfully we get to keep the energy switch. Makes my decision potentially easier. Get a couple extra cards, though not a great hand overall. Then benching the Duskull does mean I have the possibility to get a 2-price knockout, which is actually really significant. No draw supporter, however, makes this very difficult. Another boss's orders getting drawn. So, I mean, I have a chance, right? I have a chance to attack here on turn 2. I didn't prize any energy switches, but I would need to discard 2 or draw 1 here off of the Teal dance. Like if I draw 1, then that would guarantee it. Otherwise, I would need to... Oh, okay, that's actually huge. All right, so we're just gonna go Hawlucha. This honestly could just be game ending at this point if I do manage to hit 1 energy switch before I V-Star. Actually, no, I need the other Ogerpon and another grass. Never mind, I need so much. It's possible, but it's definitely difficult. But I got it. So I'm going to be able to take out these 2 Pokemon. My opponent will have nothing threatening me. And this is why this deck is so powerful. So powerful. I'm going to go ahead and Nest Ball for the other Regidrago. I feel like a lot of people always try to not bench it, which is understandable, but I have the switch, I have the energy switches. Like I could just end up powering it up. I have Prime Catcher as well. So, all right, now the key thing here is, all right, this is a mistake that I've seen happen. I've been playing this metagame now for almost 2 months. This is a mistake that I have seen happen quite a few times, where people don't play the energy switch before they V-Star. And therefore they need to hit an energy switch. Right now, I don't need to hit anything specific and I already have the knockout, right? Everything else is just extra icing on the cake. I think I'm gonna get back the switch in order to guarantee that I have the attack next turn. And I kind of like the idea of the boss, honestly, just to make sure I can threaten whatever is coming up next for my opponent. Actually, no, never mind. I'm about to make a mistake. I'm gonna be so far ahead that as long as I continue attacking, I think I'll be good. So I'm keeping the switch to be extra safe. I almost messed up there. I was like forgetting 1 key step off the energy switch. And now we're gonna go Apex Dragon and use Phantom Dive and then place 6 damage counters on the Dreepy. And we are good to go. I would not be surprised if my opponent decides to concede here. This is a pretty harsh situation to be in, and obviously they prioritize protecting from Kyurem, which is also a threat. But I feel like people are incredibly eager to use Kyurem, and that sometimes could come back to bite them, because then they let their opponents have sort of a return. So saving Kyurem sometimes for the late game can actually be a bit more effective. Now, one thing that could hinder me is the fact that I don't have my V-Star anymore, but my opponent's literally not going to do anything significant. With the Prime Catcher, I'm guaranteed another 2 prizes, knocking out the Drippy and the Pidgey. Like benching the Pidgey right there is just not understanding what's happening, right? Because you're just giving me a better target than the Manaphy, right? So it just doesn't make much sense. I don't need a boss and I still deny the Pidgeot no matter what. So I feel like at that point you just have to give up on the Pidgey, and that's what makes Regidrago V-Star so powerful. The fact that it denies the Pidgeot so strongly. If you go first and you get this on turn 2, as I did, with a pretty mediocre hand as well, to begin with, like Charizard and Dragapult have to play without Pidgeot, and that just makes everything that much harder. All right. Now it seems like they Force Seal Stone for the Fezandipiti. They could end up Ionoing again, which is not a big deal. If they don't attack my hand, I have the Prime Catcher, and they will just have all these cool support Pokemon. I don't even need to use the Prime Catcher, so still gonna play out like the normal things, just in case I'm missing something, just in case I'm forgetting something, but honestly it's not very likely. So we're just gonna go boss here and go Phantom Dive and probably see a concession right after. Yep. There we go. Yeah, so that's the power of this deck. If my opponent wanted to have any sort of chance, they needed to bench double 3P, so I would still get a 2-price knockout, but I wouldn't be able to do what I just did. Deny either 1 Pokemon that threatens me. Pidgey, poor Pidgey is featured as the Pokemon that fought the best because it was knocked out twice. But overall, that's what makes Regidrago V-Star so good right now. On to the next match. Alright, so we get to go first again, which is obviously fantastic for this deck. We get the bare minimum, which is a Regidrago V with an energy attachment. That's fine. Having the Fezandipiti down is not bad at all. Now, this Cornerstone Ogerpon is very annoying, right? However, it doesn't stop us completely. It just means we need to halt our evolution a little bit, but we can use Regidrago or even Mew to bypass it. And we also have Canceling Cologne in the deck as well. Its main purpose is for the Kyurem, right, which we did prize, but we do have potential access to that. It's also priced, but it's no big deal. Yeah, we will manage. Don't you worry. Let me worry about that, and you just enjoy. We have ways around this. They can't just completely stall us out. So I'm not worried at this point in time. Yeah, this could be Snorlax. This could be, I really don't know what we're up against, but so far so good. And the fact that this deck has 2 potential Canceling Colognes, right, with your V-Star, that just makes a world of difference. All right, they do discard a grass, so this is most likely Raging Bolt, in fact. So, well, okay, maybe not. Maybe it's just a full-on Ogerpon deck. I really don't know. Maybe they think they have this gotcha moment, right, where they're gonna wall everything, but in fact they don't. Now, this sucks though. How did I completely whiff energy? Right here. That's really terrible. All right. Wow. That was the most useless professor's research I've ever had. I probably should have energy switched, but now, like, my start was so good and now I missed attachment. I need to be the one to be aggressive against the Ogerpon, which clearly I did not do last turn. All right, I'm gonna bench the Mew just in case I need like some backup against this, and I will go ahead and bench this other friend. Losing these 2 cards is actually less than ideal, right? I couldn't have played the Prime Catcher, no, because I don't have anything, so I couldn't switch. All right, but now we get to attack, and that's good enough for me, right? I'm just gonna get the grass energies. I feel like my opponent won't immediately realize this because they're not doing anything else, or maybe they just don't have anything else, right? But Cornerstone is not a good way to wall Regidrago, A, because there's Canceling Cologne, B, because they can't get the Canceling Cologne back, and C, because they can easily power up a Mew or a Regidrago V, as I'm doing, to just bypass that. So I hit 130, they hit 140, good job opponent, and that will be the game. Yeah, so straightforward, no need to panic, no need to overthink it. You are up against that, you just find the solution and you're good to go, right? Pretty simple. So on to the next game. All right, so this time around, I lost the coin flip, but my opponent let me go first, which could indicate Raging Bolt. That's a deck that purposely wants to go second. Based on the sleeves, it could just be Charizard, right? Which that seems to be the case. So thankful that my opponent let me do that. All right, so this is an interesting situation because I have the energy switch, but I also, like, if you go Ogerpon, use Teal Dance, and then energy switch, and then you don't get anything out of the, like, you don't get an attachment, then you're not really gaining any energy advantage. This is still great, right? But even better would be having another energy. That would make things even better. So I do have the, so, okay. Because of that, I'm gonna Teal Dance first. I'm thinking of Ultra Balling for the Mew straight up, just so that I can draw extra cards, try to get an attachment. Or that's actually perfect, never mind. Don't need the Mew anymore. That's actually insane that I got that. That was possibly one of the best cards that I could have gotten. Now I get the Dragapult DX into a discard pile. I have the guaranteed attachments. All I need now is a Regidrago VSTAR, and I take down, like, it could only be one prize if I whiff the Hawlucha or whatever, but that's not important at this point. Yeah, the importance is denying this Pidgey. And if they bench another Pidgey, they need to attach to this one and retreat for them to have a chance at establishing Pidgeot. And Charizard without Pidgeot definitely feels 10 times more underwhelming than with it. So I'm generally not very concerned about this at all. They choose to go for Charmander and Duskull, so feels like they're not realizing the threat level of Regidrago. They're just handing me the second prize, right? I could just KO these two, and that's fine. So I feel like triple Charmander would have been my choice in this case. A, to avoid giving your opponent a double price card, right? And B, to have a better chance. There's also a possibility that I go Hawlucha, Prime Catcher, KO both Charmanders, which would be even better than knocking out the Pidgey, because then I have nothing to worry about and I just keep wrecking their board, which I almost could have done. But this is also incredible because I could still, like, I got this, right? I could still go for a V-Star for the Prime Catcher play. I'm not gonna do it. I feel like it's unnecessary. It's a waste of the V-Star at this point in time, but I could still do it, right? And yeah, this is like picture perfect Regidrago V-Star. Honestly, these 3 games have been outstanding at this point. Now, you do have to worry about a potential possible retaliation here, so it's not all like picture perfect yet. All right, I will get rid of these 2. I will establish a backup Regidrago just in case. Well, maybe. I mean, if they respond with an Ogerpon, then I don't need Regidrago. But I do want to have access to the V-Star, and I do have 3 more Regidragos. So I will establish this, and I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm actually not gonna Energy Switch because my best response, if they somehow get a KO, would be the Ogerpon, right? So I'm just gonna restart for 2 more cards, and wow, that's just perfect, you know, generally picture perfect situation at this point in time. So we're just gonna Phantom Dive. Oh, actually they can't KO. As long as I KO this, never mind. I don't even need to worry about that because there's no way for them to return KO here unless they went like a crazy thing of like Counter Catcher, Hawlucha, bring it back. Like there's just no way. My Regidrago is 100% safe. If they get 2 prices, that's completely fine. I should have enough firepower, I feel, to power up the Ogerpon. I have the Prime Catcher as well to potentially chase and just leave energy on the board. So this game's pretty much over, and it's crazy to think about, right? Because Charizard is so powerful. Charizard definitely gets much better with Dusknoir, or more powerful, right? Not much better, more powerful with Dusknoir. But Regidrago is just, it feels like it's on a higher level as well. You know? Now, this stamp is annoying, but I have my V-Star still. And what a pair of cards I just got. This Nest Ball, please don't get Pidgey. No, they're just gonna get Fezandipiti. That is the correct Pokemon to grab. That Charmander gives me another 2 price knockout, which I am more than happy to take. Can go after a Charmander. Well, that also makes it easier as well. Okay, they find the boss. They're gonna go for the Ogerpon. That's fine. That's one way to protect themselves, which is very understandable. Does make it harder for me to get the return KO, so well done by my opponent, but it probably won't be enough. So I'm just gonna go. I should have promoted something else if my plan, or I should have thought about what I wanted to do before, so that was probably a slight mistake. Alright, I'm gonna go after this Charmander at this point in time. Then I'm gonna draw 1 card. And I just need to have like Ogerpon's perfect draw. Ogerpon's with the Grass Energy established. And I still have my V-Star too if they KO the Ogerpon again. So I'm very confident I have this one logged. That is just an insane card to get of a 1 card draw. And we'll go ahead and Teal Dance. Still haven't even attached energy for turn. I have my V-Star. I don't care about losing the boss's orders. All I want is just more energy in play. And if they knock out this, then that's fine. Now I have guaranteed V-Star as well. So I don't want to say it's over. Oh, I almost misclicked. I don't want to say it's over, but it's over. I mean, them giving me 1 prize doesn't really matter. I don't want them to like just do something that would be weird, you know, with the Dusknoir. So 2 price turn, all good. Useless cards. Again, I Iono. I have Mew, I have Ogerpons, but I have my V-Star. So there's no way for me to not just be able to get a Grass back or a Grass plus an Energy Switch and knock out the Charizard with the Ogerpon next turn. So I'm very, very, very confident that this is over, right? And it was over pretty much in the first game, or in the first turn, or in the second turn once I got the attack off, right? There's the Pokemon catcher, but that's fine, right? I have my V-Star. I just get back Grass plus Energy Switch, power up the Ogerpon, and it's game. I could have a 0-card hand and it's game. Not to mention, I got the boss to just go after the Fezandipiti if I had Giratina, right? The one thing I'm not playing here is Raging Bolt. I personally think Giratina is a stronger choice than the Raging Bolt, which people can agree or disagree, right? I'm not concerned about that. There's nothing I'm missing, right? Just promote the Ogerpon, V-Star, get back even two. I don't even need Energy Switch. That's just icing on the cake. I just need 2 Grass back, right? That's all I need. 2 Grass, and then Energy Switch, attach, and it's GG. Or Teal Dance and attach, and it's GG. And there we go. Thank you, opponent, for being out sport and not conceding. So, I mean, Charizard's just so good, but Regidrago feels a little bit better. And how do you stop Regidrago? With Raging Bolt. How do you stop Raging Bolt? With Charizard. How do you stop Charizard? With Regidrago. So we have this weird rock, paper, scissors right now in the format, and it almost feels like a matchup roulette-y a little bit, right? But yeah, this is the strength of Regidrago. Definitely recommend giving the deck a try. For those of you who might end up commenting that, but Pablo, you just made a video about Regidrago VSTAR sucks. That was a joke, all right? A lot of people missed it. That was a joke, all right? But anyways, thanks so much for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.